Today we're going to look at section 5.1, which is in relation to basically what do mean, median, and mode really tell us. And to illustrate some of the main points, which you may have already looked at because you've done the 5.1 getting started assignment, is which one's most useful in terms of telling us information about a product or a situation. So here's a new battery, and there are two brands, and we're going to call them brand X and brand Y. And you can see that each of them has a certain lifespan in terms of years. So the question is, if we have this data, how can we analyze it to make a decision of which car battery should I buy? So let's look at them. Here are some information pieces about the brands. The range for brand X is significantly more than brand Y. The mean for brand X, which is the average, is about the same as brand Y. And their medians are exactly the same, and their mode slightly different. From that information, do we know much? Well, a little bit, but not as much as we see from this line graph. And this line plot shows us that the data for brand X, starting at about just over 3 and going to over 8, is significantly more spread out than the data for brand Y. So if you're looking for consistency of product, I would say that this line plot definitely shows that brand Y is significantly more consistent in the product that they produce. So if I were buying the battery, I would pick brand Y. Now some of you might be gamblers and say, well, I might get the one that lasts 8 hours. But statistically speaking, I think you'd be taking a larger risk than necessary. And really what we're talking about here when we're looking at this data is we're talking about the dispersion of the data, how it's arranged on the line plot. Kind of gives us a good picture of whether the mode, the median, and the mean tell us enough information, or if it's the cluster of data that really helps us. So that's basically it for this lesson. If you understand what dispersion is, which basically means how spread apart the data is, if you understand what mode, median, and mean are, you're not going to find this too terribly challenging. But the big picture is not so much that you can find the mean, the median, and mode. It's can you make some conclusions, or as they say, inferences, or as we would have said in previous chapters, what is a conjecture that you can make about the data? And that's really what we're looking at here. So this is the assignment you're going to be working on, and it won't take us very long, and then we're going to be jumping right into 5.2.